Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. Okay, here we are. Hope everyone had a great Chag, wherever it is that you enjoyed and celebrated. Beautiful Chag here in the Northeast, where we had a little bit of snow, 80 degrees, the usual range. And we are back to our learning. Please remember to count Sfiras HaOmer. It's an important time of the year for that. And obviously consult the Halacha, what happens if you forget, next day what to do. But we continue to daven for Chayalei Tzva Ganei Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzuei Yisrael, and the safe return of our hostages, dedicating our learning L'Ili Nishmat Seren, Daniel Shemin, Rav Duran V'Sheli Shem Kam Damo. And please remember, we still have a few days left to vote the World Zionist Congress elections. Please hear those in the diaspora. OIC-MIZRACHI, slate number 5. Notes and voting link are attached in the body of the podcast. So we begin a new chapter, Hachanos L'Tefillah. Ein omdim lehispalo lo mitoch atzlos v'lo mitoch atzlos. The Gemara Bracha says that you can't be ready to daven, whether you're sad or lazy, because tefillah brings you close to Hashem. Tefillah, it straightens you out. It stands you up. It gives you life, gives you chiyas. Therefore, one should be in a good mood. One should be happy, and one should be eager to approach tefillah. So Amar Chachamim, the Gemara Brachas and Daf Lamed Aleph further tells us, it's also pasuk in Shulchan Aruch Siman Tzadi Gimel, Lo yispalel mitoch schok, mitoch schok mevatel yiras Hashem. One shouldn't daven in an environment of laughter or lightheadedness, because it ruins the ability to have yiras Hashem, fear of Hashem. You have to have proper fear. You have to have proper humility. You shouldn't be amongst heavy conversation or light conversation, because these types of conversation, it distracts you from the inner world. And your tefillah has to come from the depth of your soul. And not amongst levity or idle chatter, because tefillah is based on a recognition of the value of a person has, that you can create great things with your speech. And if you are speaking idle chatter, so then it shows that, well, you really don't value what comes out of your mouth. It's good to give tzedakah before tefillah. That's why in every shul you'll find a tzedakah box or a pushka, so that we will approach tefillah through simcha of mitzvah. Because if you are coming to ask Hashem for kindness and for mercy, so it's better and it's a fitting thing that we should have mercy on others who are in need. That's why we give tzedakah. The Ari says that a person should reflect before davening on the mitzvah of loving your neighbor like yourself, which is considered, as the Gemara says, a great principle in the Torah. And the entire davening is said in a plural language, because we're davening not only for ourselves, but for the tzibur. Just a side note, again, it's not found here in the Sefer, but about giving tzedakah, there's also a custom that people have, that it's found in many Siddurim, that they give tzedakah right before Yishtabach, when we say right before Az Yashir, when we say that specific verse. I follow this method. I like to say Zrizim Makdim on the mitzvah. So if we have a mitzvah to do tzedakah, it's the first thing I do when we walk into the shuls, to put money in the tzedakah box, following this halacha. Lo yava adam letefillah mitoch tirda. Person shouldn't come to davening amidst a tumult. And even if someone has the blessing to be able to learn Torah before davening, you have to make sure not to get involved in any sort of sugya, any topic that will distract you, and it's difficult, it's complicated, because it might distract you from the davening. But before davening, one should learn halacha topics that are clear, that won't leave you confused, or matters of faith that will elevate you. However, if let's say you are learning and you're busy with something and you're confused about the sugya or whatever it might be, that doesn't mean that's a reason not to daven with a minyan. So that at least in the minutes or in the moments right before we say tefillah, we want to be involved in things that elevate us, things that make us happy. So Chazal instituted that we say certain things. So lefnei tefillah shachris v'arvis omenes berachas goal Yisrael, lefnei tefillas mincha omrim ashrei. That's why we have the bracha. I'm talking about immediately before Shemona Esrei. So we say the bracha goal Yisrael. We say Hashem redeems us. That's very elevating. And also before mincha we say ashrei, a beautiful tefillah. Again, is to get us in the proper mindset. Chasidim harishonim lo hayim stopping b'zeh. The pious people of old, but known as Chasidim Rishonim, this is not enough. They would sit or stand or contemplate a full hour before davening, that they would meditate in some fashion. We find also that Chasidim, not Chasidim are Rishonim, but let's say Chasidim as we know them, they would often engage in hisbodedus, maybe going into the forest and meditating in that sense, but something to do to get yourself in the proper mindset. Nowadays, this is very challenging because we live very complicated, quick-paced lives, and we're running from here to there, and we're lucky if we make it to shul on time, and we get to shul, we want to catch up, we want to get our tefillin on, etc., which is always why the best thing to do is to try and get to shul early, have yourself ready, have yourself prepared in physical spirit and also in your mental and emotional state so that you can approach davening in the correct way. But in any event, I'm so glad to be back learning. Thank you so much for joining with us. And please remember, continue davening for Chayalei Tzvah and Yisrael for Shlem L'Chol B'Tzvah Yisrael Sefer for turn of our hostages, Nishmat Seren, Daniel Shimon, Rav Dram Shal Shem Kim Damo. Please vote OIC-MIZRACHI number 5. See the link at the bottom. Very, very important. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and we'll see you here next time.